Mediation program is a program that targets young women who are in leadership position. This is where we train young women from the Horn of Africa, that is Kenya, Somalia, South Sudan, and Ethiopia, so that they can be able to take part in actively engage in peace processes.
What motivated me to get into peace building is the experiences I've had in the organization, and along the way I realized during conflict we women and young women are the most affected groups, and in that case I realized there was need for us to be involved in these peace processes so that we're able to share the experiences we go through and propose solutions as well.
Mathare community has been noted to be a hotspot for conflict. It has been mentioned as a place where violence mostly erupts as it spread to the other parts of the country. I wanted to work with other youths to ensure that we change the narrative of Mathare as a conflict place. So that has been my motivation, and we are seeing progress in the ongoing processes of peace within my community.
Defining negotiation. It is a process of making joint decisions when the parties involved have different preferences. In mediation, you need to understand the conflict and to know the problems of people, the actors, and do proper interventions. And during mediation, people come with their own interests, but you have to stick to the main goal of achieving an agreement that is a win-win situation for all the parties that serves the interest of the society.
I will say mediation is a journey, and that you do not become an expert in one day. Like, for example, one thing I've really learned from our trainers is they've been doing this for a very long time, and they didn't just wake up to become the best in this. They went through different levels of experience and different levels of challenges to become where they are. So I would say one thing I'm checking is that this is a process, and as I go along, I learn and I grow and I become better, and I believe someday I'm going to become an expert.
We also have the regional policy dialogue. This is where we have the young women have a face-to-face and online conversation with the stakeholders, that is the representative from the CSO, that is civil society organizations, a representative from the embassies and regional bodies, so that they can further amplify the need to include young women in peace building and decision making.
So I need to create a conflict. Yeah. So you're not scared of her because she's the super puppy.
Young people in Somalia or in Africa are the majority and an asset that we have. If we do not educate them and also give them the empowerment they need, sometimes they might not need an empowerment, they might need just a support to stand by their shoulder. We can do that. So they can, instead of calling them the leaders of tomorrow, they can be the leaders of today. They can walk side by side with us.
Somalia, we have civil war since 1991, so women they are part of conflict, and also they are part of this process. So as a young woman, we are looking for opportunity to be part of this process. So don't be afraid and don't be wait someone to call you to come on the table. Courage yourself, educate yourself, and go ahead.
We also have mentorship, where we link them up with the seasoned mediators and learn what the seasoned mediators have done before and what they can improve on and the lessons learned from them.
What advice would you give a young mediator on mediation process design, tactics, strategies, media, and on other key aspects?
I would encourage them to understand the nature of conflict that they're dealing with. Also, do your mapping and analyze your conflict, because when you're going to intervene between two parties, you must understand the nature of conflict that these two parties are in. And also would encourage them to be sensitive in the way they handle mediation processes. Understand other people's values, what their beliefs are, what their culture is, the norms, so that you are able to peacefully intervene without them feeling like you're looking down on them.
The dynamics of mediation might slightly have changed. due to COVID. Because with mediation, you have to have a team on the ground, and you have to have people who are sitting with for mediation. But during COVID time, we don't meet. So for mediation, it's not easy.
And a lot of the challenges during peacemakers. Then the biggest challenge was our community do not believe the young women to take part in the peacemakers. Even they can't believe that women can do everything.
Challenges that are faced as a young leader and a peacemaker is when you're a young woman, people think that you should not speak. Like when you're speaking to elderly people, they tend to think that you are rude or you are arrogant. So these are some of the challenges we face, or I face daily, but you need to have a way to go about them, because you can't just keep quiet when things are not going right.
Here in South Sudan, culture is really it's being prioritized a lot by people. And you find it so difficult that some different cultures do not allow girls to speak out their minds, or even they do not allow girls to sit on the table with them to solve issues.
You know, culturally, people tend to take women as a weak, a weaker sex, and they don't think a woman can deliver something. The culture part of it is women have no right to talk to people. But for my case, I stood my ground. I said, I cannot allow people to go on in this situation where I have an effort to put in and they are able to listen to me. We can be able to engage each other.
In order for you to make it in this road, you have to be consistent, and above all, you should not be waiting to be given. Go for what you want, grab it because it is yours. But above all, another advice is when you're trying to fight and when you're trying to be a peacemaker, especially fighting for women's rights, don't do it alone. You need a group of like-minded people, people who are passionate, people who share the same goal, the same vision and the same mission with you.
The training has been very impactful to me, and what I'm taking home is the new skills that I didn't have before. For example, the processes of conflict resolution, and also how to just work with a network with other people to be able to solve any conflict.